It wasn't a roar. It was the silence. A tiny lion cub, meant to be deep in the wilderness, collapsed right outside the chapel door. Could the love of a single sister defy the law of life and death? If you believe in the small miracles of compassion, hit subscribe and witness this one with us. The early morning mist still clung heavily to the vast savannas, stretching out to the horizon where the first hint of sun was just breaking through. Nestled within that harsh yet mystical beauty was the St. Jude Mission in Kenya. For Sister Alara Vance, who had devoted over 15 years of her life here, the mission was not just a place of service, but a testament to her boundless dedication and compassion. The worn wooden gate of the chapel, where she usually began her day with the first prayers, was always a symbol of unwavering faith. But on that fateful morning, the tranquility was replaced by a sudden shock. Sister Alara was preparing to enter the chapel when she saw a small, trembling figure lying motionless by the stone steps. It was a lion cub about 3 months old, its golden fur matted with dirt, its amber eyes wide with exhaustion and a fragile spark of hope. Its ribs showed clearly beneath its thin coat, proof of many days of hunger and a grueling journey. Sister Alara froze. In her years of serving this remote land, she had encountered many wild creatures, but never had a lone, weak lion cub appeared so willingly at the threshold of their sacred space. In the cub's eyes, she saw no aggression or fear, but a desperate trust, a look that profoundly stirred her compassion. Leo,
Welcome to our
she
family,
whispered,
Leo.
naming him instantly. Every rule of the convent, every caution about the danger of wild animals, was set aside. She knew this intervention was forbidden, but she saw only one truth. This life needed to be saved. The decision to take Leo into her care began a challenging emotional journey, a story that would forever change her definition of love and sacrifice. For the first 3 days, it was a fierce battle against the Reaper. Sister Alara barely slept. She turned the small laundry room behind the chapel into an intensive care unit for Leo. She fed the tiny cub warm goat's milk every 2 hours, using soft towels to keep its small, chilling body warm. She prayed with an intensity and fervor she hadn't felt since her first years in service. The other sisters at the mission
think he
worried
knows?
about disease, about safety,
I hope
and
not.
most importantly, about the bishop's reaction if he discovered their secret. According to the mission's strict protocols, wild animals, especially predators, must be reported immediately to wildlife authorities. But Sister Alara had listened to a deeper calling. 2 weeks passed, and Leo not only survived, but thrived. The lion cub became the mission's hidden miracle. He slept soundly in a wicker basket in Sister Alara's room, sometimes cautiously playing in the enclosed garden. He learned to trust the human touch, the gentle voice of Sister Alara. Every time she entered, Leo's small ears would perk up, his amber eyes sparkling with recognition and happiness. This was the purest, most tender moment of the story, where human tenderness had triumphed over the harshness of the wild. Behavioral biologists know that lion cubs, like many mammals, go through a critical stage called imprinting. Leo had lost his mother during his early developmental weeks, an incredibly sensitive time. Lacking his biological mother, Leo imprinted on Sister Alara, not just as a caregiver, but as mother, the center of his safety and his world map. His arrival at the chapel door was not random. It was the desperate behavior of a creature seeking the last known source of life. Yet, joy soon gave way to worry. The undeniable truth was that Leo was growing. The initial chirping cries were gradually replaced by small growls. His claws were sharper. Every rule and common sense pointed to one thing. This situation could not last. A lion cub belongs to the savannah. Sister Alara knew she had done what was necessary to save Leo's life, but she also realized a painful truth. Her unconditional love, this excessive attachment, could destroy his future. Leo would lose his wild instincts, become too trusting of humans, and ultimately be unable to reintegrate into nature. She had saved Leo from death, but she was inadvertently threatening his authentic life. After 2 weeks of inner conflict, Sister Ilera finally contacted the Wildlife Conservation Agency. Following protocol, Leo had to be moved to a specialized facility. The night before the separation, Sister Ilera held Leo one last time, carried him to the edge of the wilderness, kissed his tiny head, and whispered a prayer for his survival before watching him disappear into the tall grass. She told herself, "This is for the best. Wild animals belong in the wild." But as she turned back, Sister Ilera's heart felt heavier than any burden she had ever carried in her religious life. 3 weeks later, the things Sister Ilera both hoped for and feared had happened. Leo had returned, not to hunt or to seek shelter, but to wait. According to the other sisters, the young lion appeared at dawn every day and patiently sat right outside the chapel door, the exact spot where Sister Ilera had first fed him, where she had spent hours holding him. As evening fell, he would quietly disappear back into the savannah. He didn't attack. He caused no harm. He simply sat there, waiting for his mother to return. The young lion was exhibiting classic fixed attachment syndrome behavior. In the animal's innocent understanding, the chapel door and Sister Ilera represented his safety anchor. That was where his world made sense. He didn't know how to hunt. He didn't fear humans. And most importantly, he didn't know how to socialize with his own kind. Sister Ilera realized that while she thought she had liberated Leo, she had inadvertently doomed him. Her initial love had saved his life from death, but now, that very attachment threatened his survival in the future. Sister Ilera's heart was tormented. The cub was noticeably larger now, and a large predator appearing regularly near the mission would place the entire community in an unacceptable danger. Local authorities would have no choice but to capture and destroy him. Finally, Sister Ilera called Dr. James Keto, a wildlife veterinarian specializing in working with missionary outposts in the region. During his visit, Dr. Keto had confirmed her greatest fear. "His behavior is not unusual, sister," he explained. "Leo is showing classic signs of dependence. If there is no professional reintegration, he will continue to return here, larger and more dangerous each time. Love saved him, but now Sister must choose between maintaining the attachment or returning his wildness." That evening, Sister Ilera sat facing Leo across the temporary fence. Tears flowed, and she whispered, "Leo, I am so sorry. I thought I was saving you, but I may have condemned you instead." That was when she realized a bitter truth. True love is not about holding tight, but about recognizing when to let go. Dr. Keto proposed a solution, a specialized sanctuary 300 kilometers away, dedicated to rehabilitating orphan lions. But the process would require Sister Ilera's participation. "He is bonded to you, sister," Dr. Keto said. "Successful reintegration will require gradually transferring that bond from you to other lions. You might be his only chance." For Sister Ilera, leaving the mission was an unprecedented decision. But faced with Leo's life and future, she made the most difficult choice of her religious life. She had to go with Leo. Sister Ilera received special approval from her order to spend 3 months at the Ubuntu Lion Haven, set on 2,000 acres of protected land that naturally mimicked the savanna habitat. She lived in a small cabin near Leo's isolation area. The head of the sanctuary, Dr. Amara Okonkwo, an expert in imprinted animals, designed a meticulous protocol, honoring Leo's bond with Sister Ilera while gradually preparing him for life with his own kind. Dr. Okonkwo explained, "The initial phase is the hardest. Leo will resist separation from his sister, but we will start with short periods, gradually increasing the time between visits. More importantly, we will use the social scaffolding technique. Other orphan cubs, slightly older, will help teach Leo the essential lion behaviors that humans simply cannot." The first few weeks were heartbreaking. In Sister Ilera's absence, Leo would pace the enclosure fence, calling for her with sounds that grew increasingly desperate. Sister Ilera's heart broke every time she heard his cries, but she forced herself to adhere to the protocol. She shortened the time she spent holding him, replacing it with distant observation, giving Leo the opportunity to seek comfort from his new environment. Slowly, the miracle happened. A female lion named Kessie, who had lost her own cubs to drought, began showing maternal interest in Leo, licking him and lying near him. Two other orphan cubs began including Leo in their chasing games, teaching him how to stalk and react. Most importantly, over time, Leo began exhibiting natural hunting behaviors without any instruction from Sister Alara. The breakthrough came in the 6th week. Sister Alara sat in the observation blind, watching Leo practice his stalking skills with his new siblings. She realized one thing. For over an hour, Leo had not looked once toward her hiding spot. His focus was entirely on the game, on his fellow lions, on becoming the creature he was born to be. Dr. Okonkwo quietly found Sister Alara, who was crying gently in the observation booth. "I hope those are happy tears, sister," Dr. Okonkwo said. Sister Alara nodded. "He is forgetting me. He is supposed to forget me." That was the peak moment of sacrifice, acknowledging that the purpose of this love had been fulfilled. Sister Alara had given Leo a gift more precious than life, his wild instinct. The final phase of recovery took place in a vast semi-wild area, where Leo practiced advanced hunting skills with minimal human intervention. Sister Alara's visits became less frequent and then stopped altogether. Through remote cameras, she watched the cub she saved grow into a magnificent young male, confident and strong, exhibiting every behavior of a wild predator. 1 year after the day she found Leo dying by the chapel door, Sister Alara received the call she had both hoped for and dreaded. Leo was ready for release. He had successfully hunted on his own, shown appropriate wariness of humans, and demonstrated all the skills necessary for survival. The release took place at dawn in the Tarangire National Park, a strictly protected area with abundant prey and minimal human contact. Sister Alara watched from a distant vehicle. When Dr. Okonkwo opened the transport crate, Leo stood still for a moment, surveying his new territory. Then, without looking back, he bounded into the tall grass and disappeared. "Will we ever know if he survived?" Sister Alara asked, her voice barely audible. "The tracking collar will tell us, sister," Dr. Okonkwo replied. "But look at him, sister. You saved his life, and more than that, you gave him back his wildness. That is the greatest gift any creature can receive." 6 months later, back at the St. Jude mission, Sister Alara received photos from the monitoring team. Leo, now a powerful adult male, had not only survived but thrived. He had been observed with a female and appeared to be establishing his own territory. Sister Alara still walked the familiar dusty path to the chapel, still served the community with the same dedication. But everything had changed. Her understanding of love, sacrifice, and the true meaning of caring for God's creatures had been transformed by a small golden cub. The greatest lesson, she realized, was not that Leo needed her. It was that she needed Leo to learn that true love sometimes means choosing what is best for the beloved, even when it breaks your own heart in the process. The story of Leo is a reminder that one fate has been saved, and compassion has the power to transform a world. If the story of Sister Alara and her sacrifice has touched your heart, we invite you to help us spread this message. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to receive more inspiring stories about love and the wild. And most importantly, please share this video with a friend who needs to hear about the gift of letting go. Let Sister Alara's dedication resonate everywhere. Sister Alara showed us. Were you ready to let go of today?